Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day, about 65-70 degrees today, so I thought I would start stripping one of the doors down, ready for priming. As I said in the last episode, started patching up the fenders to get rid of those side reflectors, and then we're going to start grinding all the engine bay down, all the fenders, the doors, the hood and the trunk lid, and get them all in epoxy primer so we can start to see a little bit of progress, and then they're safe to sit for a good period of time until we roll back on and start correcting any problems with those. So what I thought I'd do today is show you me stripping down one of the doors, the front passenger door. I've done the driver's side door already. Let me give you a show of that. Here's the driver's door, all stripped down, all the guts out of it, obviously regulator, all the lock mechanism, everything except I'll show you what I didn't take out. Now these chrome strips on the 109 are unique to the 109 here. Now they've got little tiny screws dotted around, but someone mentioned that these also are glued on, so obviously these are extremely difficult to get hold of if they've got damage. So simple enough thing is to mask these off. I think we can save a lot of potential problems by just masking those off. We've got plenty of coverage here, we've got trim coming around here, we can easily mask, there'll be no evidence of it. Obviously we've got the door seal on the inside, and then we wrap round here where the windlass stuff goes, and the quarter light. So I think it's best err on the side of caution with that. So door's quite a bit lighter now. Getting all the innards out, trim, door handles, all like I say. So what I'm going to show you is stripping down the passenger side door. One thing before I even start on that door is wanted to talk about regulators. Now I think we talked about it before. The earlier car, the 68, had a steel chassis to hold the gearing for the power windows, and that works great. It's solid as a rock, hasn't torqued or bent or anything. But then they went to that later lighter kind of casting, and this is a perfect example. This one, I don't know whether you can see that, how bent and torqued and twisted that is. The gear is started to drive itself into the chassis, and that is due to not lubricating the unit, and it really forcing itself and being under a lot of torsion and tension, and just distorting the chassis. And worst case, you can get cracking, which I think there is a minor crack on this one, and then cause all manner of problems, and then just give out completely, probably burn a motor out as well. So if you look at that chassis in and of itself, okay, this basic framework here, this is a separate piece connected here, and then the motor mount there. What I'm thinking, you probably know what I'm thinking. The ones that I've already taken off of the 109, it looks like they're all bent and torqued around, and I'm not going to go spending a load of money on the same kind of design. So if I can locate the earlier chassis, I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to fabricate my own chassis. It's basically just a framework with a series of holes drilled in strategic places for the bolts and the mount, and then the spring latch here, I can figure that out, but use some heavy gauge steel. This is obviously solid steel here, the arm, and then we can eliminate that altogether. So that's obviously going to take a lot of thought and experimentation, but this plate is a basic frame really. So anyway, that's for the future. So what I didn't realise, I'd already taken the regulator out of this one. It's pretty straightforward really. Let me move this window down and I'll show you very stiffly. So no wonder the regulators got stressed. There's a bar here, okay, and then there's a slide mount. Let me show you. So essentially this piece here, it's a little plastic, I don't know whether it's Teflon or something, that slides into this channel here. So that's the connecting arm that raises and lowers the whole window unit, and these are the mounting plates, the mounting bolts that mount into the door, and obviously, well, someone Scotch locked this at an earlier date, so there's normally a connector, you can unconnect them, and it's all pretty logical, this. So sorry I didn't show you that. I thought this already had its regulator in, but this is really very straightforward. Just 3 mounting bolts, this bolt, a little bit of jimmying around to get it out, and that's pretty straightforward. So this is obviously the door latch here to a couple of Phillips, and what you'll run into under these doors is these little slider catches. So I'll show you how they work. So there's this little catch here, you see. All you do is push it off the bar. Let me get a flat bladed screwdriver. Just push it off of the bar. Okay, that just pushes up. A little stiffer, that one. Okay, that's come off. So I'll give you a close-up of it. So all it is this goes onto there. Okay, oh, sorry, that way around. This holds onto there and then slides around and locks onto the bar and stops this from falling off. It's a very simple, straightforward design, so don't lose that catch. Pop it out of these catches here. That's just some guide catches. Take those out and put them back on the bar to save them. Again, the same kind of catch at this end. That fell into the door, did it? Well, we'll retrieve that later. That fell into that chamber. So, okay, we've got another one here. There it is. And that disconnects the central locking system. Okay, take that guy out, put that back on so we don't lose it. See, pretty simple. Okay, let's take the lock off. I like to try and keep everything in the appropriate bags, you know, as everything comes off in kind of sections. Keep them all together. Obviously I'll keep these screws with this lock. So we'll get the seal out in a minute. So look at that mechanism in there. Isn't that beautiful? Very heavy duty. Just could do with a little lubrication, but yeah, 50-year-old lock. Don't make them like they used to. So let me keep those together. Oh, and there is our little catch here. It just fell under the lock. So before I go any further, I'm going to put that back on there. Don't lose that. They're the kind of little fiddly things that can be a pain to locate. So I'm going to set all this off camera and we'll bag this all up. Okay, next thing, let's take the central locking bar off, which is just 2 screws, 2 mount screws down here at the bottom. Now, my friend Rick told me you can buy new diaphragms for these. Companies, I think down in Southern California. This is the diaphragm in here, you see, and simple operation back and forth, and put the mount screws back. Okay, I like to save all these catches here. Take these off. These are for, let me think, now these are for the vacuum line that runs along here. Once that's all connected, you see, so we'll save those. Okay, what's next here? I'm going to take off the door seal, and that's pretty straightforward, just gently leaving that out. If you're not going to be keeping it, then you don't have to worry too much, but this is in so-so condition. I'm obviously not going to put this back on this car. I might save it for my daily driver, because I made the mistake of buying those door seals from Turkey, and I replaced my driver's side one, and it's just a total waste of time, to be honest with you. It just irritates me. Lets in wind noise, lets in water. It's junk. And this is an original Mercedes one, or a high quality replacement, and I'll use this one on my daily driver because I'm not that bothered about it. There are a series of clips on the hinge side that you can see. There's about 4 or 5 of them along there, but the rest is just pressed into the channel surrounding the door. So let me get that done. Okay, next thing up, taking the hinges off. That is a 13mm. Yeah, still no sign of the white paint, so I'm thinking these doors were originally, oh no, well, I mean there is white paint under there. Is that white paint or a primer? That kind of looks like white paint, but I don't know, maybe they did go to that trouble. Let's hose off, just obviously 6 bolts holding those on with a slight taper. It looks like they were coated as well with like a yellow chromate, so I'll probably redo those and then just paint them over the top there, the body colour. Alright, now we've got the door check strap. That's a 10mm, I believe. Yep. And a nut has already been taken off there, so 2 10s and then a nut on there. Little lock washer there. Now, got good tension on it. Now these check straps originally were chromated, so this wasn't body color, this. So I think that indicates that someone has been in and painted it blue, but these were definitely chromated at the factory and left like that, from my understanding. So beautifully strong, heavy duty. My one on my daily driver, something's gone wrong here. I don't know whether the spring is given out, but I've got a few spares of these, so that's a job that I need to do. Stops the door from swinging way too far out. So let's get those bagged up. I like to put the bolts back in the piece wherever I can. So another thing to do is we'll get the main window out of here. And I've already undone the bolt at the bottom here to hold this track in. Okay, so there's a bolt here that also needs to come undone. And the thing is, what we've got to do now, we've got to take that windlace stuff out. The channel guide, you all seen it, I think it's called windlace. So let's push the window up and we'll pull the windlace out of the channel. There's actually a little tab of metal bent over to hold it. Just bend that out. This is obviously going to get replaced because you won't be able to get that back in again. So that's the guide, you see, so that's where it bolts on here and here. Windlace runs in there. glued in. It's been a little while since I did this little tricky window down here. I may have to take this I'm going to take this metal stuff off here and then that's what we're doing. Actually, let me get the windlass all the way out. Right, next thing we do, let's get this off first, this little trim, because that's gonna, I don't want this damaged, so this just pops up off of some clips, I believe. Just straight up on these types of door type clips. I thought it was a different type of clip, but it comes off pretty easy. So take those out, and you can see if you ever have delamination of this material, this comes off, and a good upholsterer will be able to rewrap a bit of vinyl on that for you. Not rocket science, is it? And this is, because it's a 109, has this extra fancy trim on the side there. Right, let's see what's next now. So that will free us up. Let's remove the windlass. It should pull out of that channel. Pretty hardy stuff, this. As I say, you're not going to be able to get this out and put this back in, because you're just not. And they don't give this stuff away, I can tell you. Let's not force that, don't want to hurt that trim there. I'll grab it from the other end. There you go. Just have to be supported so you don't stress the chrome trim. That's paramount. So all that guy out there. Yeah, you can see. I think we did this before in a video, but I'm going to measure that and show you how much per door that's needed. Now obviously it's not just for the frame, it has to go into the door somewhat. So I've got a feeling it's nearly 7 feet long. But this, yeah, just shy of 7'5" for the front door. So it's obviously going to be longer for the rear doors because they're the long body doors. And from memory, I think it's probably about, believe it or not, about $40 a foot. So they're quite proud of this stuff. Anyway, so that adds a little expense. So that alone is probably going to be, you know, $250 or $300. Then a door sill, let's say, that's $700 probably, just to do those things. So that's why I do a lot of things myself, because things can get expensive very quickly. Okay, so now we've got the window flopping around in here, which from memory took a little bit of jimmying. I'm going to remove this strap here, this mounting strap. Again, a couple of 10mm bolts. Very simple little design here. See that guy? So you can see, look, see that? It's all gummy grease. You can imagine over the years that all gumming up, putting terrific strain on the mechanism overall. So this little video might encourage you to get in there and clean off all that old grease and re-lubricate everything. It will make the windows work better and also put less stress on those regulators, because as you know, those regulators are not cheap. You know, I think some people are asking, you know, $300 or $400 for a regulator. So with the windlace, the door seals, and maybe a Duff regulator, not the motor, just the regulator, you're looking at $1,000 for consumables on a door like this. And then with the 4 doors, $4,000, and then all the other bits and bobs, you're looking at $5,000 just to do something like that to the doors. So consequently, that's why I do as much as I can myself. And like I say, I'm not going to I'm going to look at those regulators to probably build my own chassis and then just use the arms and the motors, but that's for future. Saves money, but also it's a bit of fun as well. So let's get this off to the side and let's try and get that window out. Let's move these tools and then we'll get the quarter light out. It's been a little while since I did the other one, and I remember it was a bit of a bear. Let me make sure those pads, I've got pads under this stand, by the way, so they're not denting everything up. Now, let's see now. Look at that. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? So if you're ever to break a piece of glass, this obviously, this thing here gets probably wedged or stuck on here somehow, but obviously put that off to the side, and you know, obviously I'm not going to plate that. I'll just clean and grease, you know, clean all our mucky grease off before this goes in. So there's nothing wrong with that. Now the window's out. Let's get the quarter light out of this side, or wind wing, or whatever you want to call it. So let's reposition, and so you can see everything. Obviously these 2 screws here, and there's one hidden screw right at the top here. Okay. So one hidden screw just here, and that's underneath the windlace, so that has to come out. Unusually they've got a slotted screw there, and it was the same on the other door, so I'm assuming that's what they all are like. I don't know why they did that. Again, you know, like the lock mechanism, look at that beautiful mechanism in there. Just needs a good lubrication over the years and it'll last forever, that. And we've got one third one here hidden underneath the windlace here. Make sure you can see that. It's just straight there, sticks through. And if you were to try and be saving your door seals, be very careful, but this little screw here can tear them. So if you are trying to do your door seals and save them, take the windlace out and this and that screw out, or back it out so it doesn't tear your seal. Okay. Now this guy should come out. Now it's stuffed into the channel, and it might be a little stiff to get out. Just leave it out. Oh, that wasn't too bad at all. So let me show you this now. See, this strip is in really nice condition. Tiny little bit of surface rust there, but really great shape. There's that screw there. You see, let me get that out. Okay, so let me show you the other one on the driver's door. So luckily I have a spare, but look at the state of that's the driver's side, and some reason moisture's got into that and rotted it all out, and you'd never know because that's hidden inside the channel. You'd never know that. So this probably won't be going back on. I've got a 108 car out the front, which I can pull that unit off of there, and I think the seal's good as well. I could save this seal, for instance, all the rest, but that shot, worst comes to worst, I could fabricate that piece there. Wouldn't be too much of an issue. Now you'll notice at this stage the door's getting a lot lighter, I tell you, to handle, and I'm sure a lot of you know this should also have the plastic sheeting on, because water is designed to come through the door and then drain out the bottom here, out of the drain plugs, Let's just check those. The bottom of this door is in pretty good shape. The driver's door has got some surface rust, but nothing really too serious. I'm going to have to clean out and attend to and treat. Let me just show you before we turn the door over. So we've got 5 drain holes on the bottom of the door here. Here's one, this is the middle one, but you can see that is all clogged up, and that's going to cause some problems down the road, getting trap moisture inside the door and then eventually rust all this out. And if you remember on my video from some time ago, repairing this channel on the rear passenger side door, because that's what had happened. Someone had come along and thinking they would put a bunch of anti-corrosion stuff inside the door, but what they used was too thick. It was very tar-like and ended up clogging all the drain holes and then causing a real mess. So basically, see, clean that out, that drain hole, and this is something you can do obviously when you're washing the car, making sure that all the drain holes are nice and clean. If you have an air compressor even, just blast a bit of compressed air into it and just check that it drains properly. Real good preventative thing to do. So let's flip the door over and take some more trim off and the door handle, and then we're good to go. Actual fact, won't flip over. This is how we'll take the door handle off. There's a little, what size is this now? 5mm. That's the one. So just through that access hole there is the bolt to hold the door handle on, and along with this kind of bracket sleeve thing, that, like that, you see, that little piece of metal there that goes through that hole. I'm not sure why that is like that, but that is what it is. And then there's a Phillips screw that you can access. Phillips screw down there. Take that off, wiggle it around, take the gasket off of the door. So there's the door handle. You can see these locks are quite serviceable. Little Phillips, not Phillips, a little slotted screw there. You can take this apart and grease everything. Everything seems to be in good shape. Gaskets are in pretty nice shape. Now to get the door trim off, there's a series of little brackets underneath there that pinch it. And what I've found, instead of trying to lever it off, is just get some this isn't the most ideal piece of wood, but just give it a few wraps. It spreads the, I don't want to go mad. Oops. Maybe a little shocking. See, I'm not tapping on. Spread the load all the way along. So nothing is getting, see, look at that. Oh, Bob's your uncle. See, this stuff you really don't want to bend because there's no bending it back, so that comes off quite nice. Obviously they're kind of corroded and stuff, and these 3 are connected to this strip, this brush strip here. So I'll show you how to get that off. As I say, these clips are attached to this brush strip. Get a bit of wood out of the way. Now my fine, you want to protect the bodywork obviously, so I just got this bit of metal here, right? I've got this flat bladed tool here, like a flat blade screwdriver, and then I just levering it. Again, not all at once on one side. There you go. There you go, not too bad. So I mean, I think obviously we're working on a 109, 108 type body here, but a lot of this stuff is very similar through a lot of Mercedes models of this era, you know. So yeah, I'm going to obviously need a new one of those, or yeah, replace that. Anyway, well, that's more research to do, see where I can get one of those. And we've got a remaining clip at the end here. I'll take that off and then keep it all together as one. So we've got left is the door trim, and what I found is to kind of get a few wraps from the back, just a little tap to kind of relieve some of the tension, because again, you don't want to bend this stuff. Scrapers underneath here. We'll get started. I like to work with two of them. And you can locate, that's obviously one there, and one there, you see. A little wrap or two from the other side. So like when you get to this last one, just give it a little wiggle just to kind of break the tension up a bit. There we go. It's coming. Fighting me. There we go. Nice and dead straight as well. Lovely. And that is it. Well, I'll get everything labelled. And packed away, and I'll mark everything front passenger side, and then we can't go far wrong. There's one more strip here, the inner brush strip that again is on these three clips. Comes off pretty easy. It looks like that's sold as one unit. That's a little worn. Right, there you go. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. One more thing before I go, I wanted to show you. Obviously, because this is the passenger side, you didn't get to see that, but this is the driver's side mirror. And what I liked about it was just two bolts straight through, and it's got this thick piece of reinforcement plate that goes on the inside of the door to give that a good solid connection. Obviously not just drilling through and bolting it on. So it's got this extra plate here is on the inside, and you know, maybe I'll try and track down a passenger side one of these, you know, when this project goes back together. So if you are buying these, hopefully you make sure you get this extra plate here, that reinforcement plate, because that's quite important. Otherwise a very light tap could end up tweaking the door, you know. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please hit like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.